Welcome to an introduction to how to use 360 Mash. This is an open source project which is designed for those of us who really want to take a video and then maybe make a short clip of it, or else reframe it, because it could be we only want a small part of the image to be rendered as a new clip, and we might want to also do that for 2D or 180 or 360 videos where we want to take a small part of it. And also we might want to add some sort of filter to anonymize. So we've made this little package to be able to do all these three jobs nice and simply and in a dedicated fashion. And this is an open source project which we hope will develop over time. And here you see this is the 360 Mash guide, which is online. This is free software. It's available to download. And there's a very simple guide. If you look at the guide, it will give you some background on how to do individual things that we'll illustrate in this video. If you want to download and install, then you can find the package in the release page on GitHub. We'll also put it, I think, on the Dote, our other software, our main software, Dote and Dotebase. It will also be listed here on the downloads page of Dote AAUDK. And there you'll be able to download it more directly from there. But otherwise it will always be available on the release page on GitHub. And you can just install that on Windows or Mac, and there are two versions for Mac, one for the standard Intel package and then one for the newer Apple Silicon. So just download the right package, install it, and then it should work, if you have permissions to install, of course. So what will happen is, if you do install it, you will get this particular, let me just find it, here we are, this particular sort of page. Depends on the size of your monitor. I've just got this format here, large square format, so we can see the video and the resulting video nice and easily in a nice compact format. This is all there is at first. There is no video because it hasn't been loaded yet, and there is no resulting video, but you will see in a moment how they appear. One important thing to do first is to check you have FFmpeg installed, and if you click this little icon here, then you'll get a little box, a dialog box, which says if you haven't got it installed, it will say unavailable. So either you need to set a manual path where you have FFmpeg and FFmprobe stored. If you don't know what those are, they're the basics behind most videos playback software on computers, the open source software that allows you to just do ordinary playback. But you can actually click this button here, download, and it will download it for you and put it in the same folder as the 360 Mash, and then it will change to available, as you can see here. So as soon as you click this, you'll see there'll be an icon showing you how it's developed, how it's being downloaded, and when it's completed, and then when it's finished. So just do that to make sure it's available, and that's the quickest way to do it. But if you have another version somewhere and you know what to do, then you can manually set the path. Then close that, because now it's set up for everything that you need. And all you have to do first is just upload, not upload, but just open a video within the software. So if you go to browse here, you'll get a list, and I'm just going to choose one from the list. I'm going to choose a 2D video, a standard 2D video, and there we see the resulting video here. This is all Creative Commons licensed, all the video material with permissions. You can find that on the help guide at the end. So it is freely available to use, and we have an archive of this as well. And lots of different cameras used, 360, 180, with ambisonic mics and things like that. And you can see here you've got a list. Now basically you can take in a video, and then you can transform it in some way, and then apply a filter, and then export it, and do that for the whole video, or maybe make a clip, and you'll see how to do each of these stages. So if we want to just, first of all, we've got here zoom and pan 2D video. If I select that, and then you have to turn it on, you'll see here this is a video of the source, and then this is of the resulting video. And now what you can do is zoom in. So if I just use my zoom wheel on my mouse, and then if I left click and then move around, I can get the sort of shot that I want. For example, I might want a shot with just her in, and that's now the export video here. That's the part of the video that will be exported. You'll see in a moment we'll do the same for a 360, when you want to convert it to 2D format. You don't have to, you can export it still as 360 with a filter attached, but you might want to take a small part of it and make it a 2D video. It's a common thing, but quite difficult to do with much video software, but very easy with 360 Mash. So if that was the one, then we could apply a filter. For example, there's a filter applied, and that would be ready to select what part of the video do we want to export as a clip. And we'll come to that in a moment. So that's the first step. What I'm going to do now is just open a 360 to show you the same. We're going to choose another from the same setting, and here you see I can move this around and I can zoom in and out. I can decide anywhere in this image. You can see oh sorry, I've got on the wrong one. I should have gone to convert 360, that's why it wasn't working properly there. Now I can zoom in and move all the way around and look up and down everywhere. And this is a conversion, a transformation, which says, let's say we want to include all three people here who are working together on a puzzle, and you want to export that and only that part of the scene, then it's all ready to do that. If you turn that off, you'll see it goes back to the equirectangular format, so it will export the whole thing with maybe a filter applied without doing a transform. So you have to select, do I want to actually convert it? And then you can move about and zoom in and out as you wish using the mouse or your trackpad. Okay, so that's, and then we can play, so I can play the video. You'll see there is a sound there as well. And you can see here's the playhead. I click the play button here. There is a shortcut for that. See, it's control space. But there are, if I pause it now, you'll see, then you can also move one frame at a time, and you'll see it's just moving one frame at a time or one frame back. You can also jump 1 second, it's 1 second ahead, or 4 seconds ahead, or 1 second back, or 4 seconds back. You'll see in a moment what these two buttons do at the end, but those are the main playback. And if you just mouse over these, hover, and then you'll see it says jump back 4 seconds, Control Shift J. So there are shortcuts if you want to use shortcuts for moving in the video. You can also just grab the playhead here and just drag it along, and it will catch up, depending on the speed of your computer, to the current frame. And this is the frame number, the current frame number. If you move one frame, you'll see this number doesn't change necessarily. It's still the same. It's only to 1 decimal place, but the actual frame is being updated. And then it can move to 84.3. So we just go back 1 frame, 84.2. So it's just rounding up. It's just a rough idea what the frame is, but this is the precise frame timestamp. Okay, that's the current playhead. If you want to, we've done a transform, and here we have a nice transform of the 360. Now we might want to apply a filter. And we have these filters at the moment, and we hope they'll be developed and enhanced, and we'll have a nice bunch of filters that can do things like anonymization. If I select this one, you'll see it's not applied yet, but it does brightness, contrast, saturation. It could be you need to adjust. So if I say yes, you can see it's taking up the brightness a little bit compared to the original. And you can adjust that, you can see as you wish, just by moving the sliders or entering a number here. You can see that is a bit bright. I can take that off. And maybe it does need to be a little bit brighter than that, but we'll leave it like there. Then we have cartoonish, that if I select it, you'll see it applies some sort of cartoon effect, and I can change the type of effect it is, the way it transforms the color, how many colors, and then the brightness count. So you can find the one that really works for you, that brings out the features you need, and does a bit more anonymization through that process. Then we have newsprint, which you can see it might be useful. It certainly has a newsprint feel to it. And then we have grayscale. We turn that one on. There are no settings for that. It just turns into grayscale. You can do that with the brightness contrast as well. There's charcoal, which is very intense. You can see I might need to be inverted. So there we can get a sort of outline. And then lastly, if I just take that one off, there's blur. If I turn that on and then change the intensity, you can see it gives some sort of blurring effect, and I can change the radius of the blur. It's a matter of playing about with these sliders or putting in numbers if you have a specific number that you like. There are no presets for any of these, so when you restart you'll have to do it all again. They're just set as defaults, and we hope that will be developed in future iterations of the software with the community working on it. So if I take the blur off, now we're back to where we were. So you can see you can do a conversion, a mapping, and zooming in, and then apply some sort of set of filters. You can apply all of them at once if you want. You can see it will be quite a mess. That's the result. But you can also move them about. So if we just take off, let's say we'll keep blur, we'll keep charcoal and take off everything but the cartoonish and the charcoal. You see, that's the result of applying a transform and then cartoonish and then charcoal. Well, now if I just pick this up, I can drag it before, and then you see that's the different effect altogether. And equally, if I added a blur and then I moved the blur earlier, you can see it has different effects depending where it is in the pipeline, in the chain. So you can find out the best sequence that you like. And this is our default sequence, is like this. Not that we would apply these all together. That didn't look like a very good idea, but you can, this is the default set and the order in which they would be applied. So if you apply more than one, then you can also move them about. You can't move the first two because those have to be done first, the conversion, the transform into a particular view of the scene, and conversion from 360 to 2D, which we're doing right now. If I just take that off, you'll see that's what we're like, and then I can apply a charcoal to everything. But this is just saying only apply it to that and export that part of the image. Okay, so we'll keep that, and let's say we'll export cartoonish. And now the last step is to, well, two steps really. You need to decide what sort of export options, and then also decide if I want the whole thing. You can see here, this is to the very end of the video. It's 223 seconds, but it might be that if I can just drag these, I can say I want it to start roughly about here, and I can, well, if you click this button here, you'll jump to that position so you can see the start point. It might be, let's just move the playhead. We want it when she comes back here. So now if I click this button, rather than dragging this, it will set it to where the current playhead is, and the current playhead is here. And there we are. You see it's actually behind there. If I move the playhead, there it is. And let's say we want it to about here when she comes back. We want it short so we can illustrate how it works when we export. And then if I click this button, or else I can drag this to that point, but if I just click here, it will set it to that exact point. Now there we are. Just move out the way, you'll see that is the clip that will be exported. If I go up here, match resolution, if I open that, I can say I want it to be different. It is currently a 3840 by 2160, a 4K video. I might want it to be reduced in size, in resolution. And then I might want, for example, I'm going to use this GPU processor on my computer, which is Windows. If you have Mac, there will be a different list here. And if I choose that one, it should be faster than the CPU because it's using the dedicated graphics processor on my laptop. Okay, so now what we've got is we've got convert and apply a filter to the video, the original video, which is here. This is the original before the filter. And then take this clip, keep the same resolution, and apply cartoonish filter and export it as fast as you can. So everything's ready now. That's all you need to set up. And now if I say export, it will ask for a location, and I will put it in a particular place which you won't be able to see. There we are. And there it starts. Took a little bit of time to get going, but once you've done one or two of these, then it usually is much faster. The frame rate is not too fast at the moment. That can be because I have other software recording this, which is taking up a lot of the computer time as well. And you see it's up to 8 frames a second, not too fast, but we have got up to 25 max frame rate. So that's completed. We can now say modify. If we didn't like that, we could say actually I'd like this to be a little bit longer, and then if we export again it might be faster this time, so we'll try again. I'll just give it a different name, so there we are. And no, it's not too much faster yet. So it gives you some idea of the time passing, and we hope later to have a cancel button here. At the moment we don't, so you have to let it run. If it doesn't work or dies, then you have to quit. But at the moment 9 frames a second max, but we have got up to 20 to 24 depending on if it's a Mac or Windows machine. Yeah, I definitely have on this machine got much faster than that. It can be because I'm, as I said, running other software capturing this, and that takes up a lot of the attention of the GPU as well. And then of course you can load a new and apply a different set of filters. There are no presets, as I said, but basically you can use the same set with the same video and adjust it in different ways, get the right one, and then view the video and see what it's like. But when you load a new video, or you quit and then you restart 360 Mash another time, then you'll have to redo those. So you might want to take these numbers down if they're important, and of course here you can jump here to the in and out point, so you can see that's the in out point, that's 52.2, and the out point is 102.310. So those are the exact frame timestamps for the video. So you can do that. You can get those by moving around with the frame jump forward and backward. Okay, you have to experiment a little. Maybe the GPU, you don't have a GPU, you're going to have to use a CPU to export. Maybe you want a different resolution in the end. You don't want to match the current resolution. You want it to be a smaller file. You're making nice small little clips that you can use in PowerPoint, for example, or in presentations. And then decide on the filters that you can apply, and we hope to have a much better set of filters, more sophisticated, that do a really nice job of anonymizing as best we can. Remember, this is an open source project, so please support it. If you're a programmer, then you might want to develop. So you can develop, and then please go to the GitHub repository, and then you can make pull requests there to enhance this, and we can get a much better piece of software. It's free and will always be free, and it's just designed to do this basic set of jobs with video that many researchers, qualitative researchers, and just general enthusiasts for video might wish to do. So that's our video tutorial. Thanks for watching, and long live 360 Mash.